that hopefully tomorrow, I shouldn't have too much workload, but you never know. You never know. But never too tired, never too exhausted to join you here, because you know what, when we join you here, unedited, we share real life stories of hope. Yes, real life story, not fiction, not something we read off a book or watched in a movie. We've got the people living the situation and the condition themselves in the studio to tell their journey. And we applaud them for every detail that they share with us. And that's because they know you're probably going through something similar or worse, but their story will motivate you, will pick you up so you can get going. Because you know what? God is still in the miracle business. And guess what? If he is, then you are more than an overcomer. I'm going to start with a song. So Phil suggested a few songs, okay? Phil, we'll play your songs next week. But I'm going to play this one because I found it, I discovered it on Instagram sometime on Monday, and it really has grown on me. So let's have a listen to this one, my pick for the week. We'll come back and then we'll dig in. Is the journey of my guest today. You know, when Mami Ajoa was trying to, put a caption to, our story today, it was difficult because it's a very complex testimony, because she's been through so much. So we thought, okay, maybe this would help. Grace has kept me after 7 years of dialysis and 7 surgeries. But guys, it's only, how do I call it? A little sprinkle of the whole story. But I've got Vivian in the studio to tell it all. Vivian Ruth Abba Owusia Owusu. What do you do?
Yes, please.
Vivian Ruth Abba Owusia Owusu. Fancy?
Yes,
Hey,
please.
Charlie, fancy for the queen. But it's such a sweet name, huh?
Thank you.
Sweet name. Good to have you in the studio.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you tell me it's your first radio interview.
Yes.
So
please.
we're privileged to be the first to be hearing your story.
Of course.
That feels good.
Yes.
Tell me about growing up. Which area did you grow up?
Kotobabi.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I see.
I've been living there since I was born.
Okay.
I went to the youngsters international school, then Chakra Girls.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
That part Mommy didn't tell me.
I didn't tell her that part.
Oh, you didn't tell her? I want to go by myself.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
We will talk a lot after this.
Okay.
Mommy didn't tell me this.
Okay.
Which house were you in?
I house.
You just that beat people cry. You see, you just that beat people. Those of us from back one and since when we meet you, then we're like, you people. You see, people from my house, I think they were pampered. You guys were pampered.
Not
When we were
really.
carrying water from my house to Backman, you guys were just there. The tap was flowing for you. You had life very easy.
No,
Is it?
nothing changed.
Is
After
it?
some time, yes.
Thank God you guys also felt the hardships more. So you did Accra Girls, and then from there you did what?
University of Ghana.
Oh, nice, interesting. So you have siblings, I suppose.
One.
Okay.
A younger brother.
Oh, so you're a big sister.
Yes, please.
Interesting. When you were growing up, did you have any peculiar condition as far as health is concerned?
No, I was living a normal life.
You were fit?
Every child, I was fit. Throughout secondary school, I was fine. In the university, I was fine. But when I got to level 300, 400 years, then I started.
Things changed a bit.
Things changed.
I see. So at level 300, what were you studying?
Psychology.
Archaeology.
Yes.
So the dream was to become what?
I wanted to work in a bank.
Okay.
You know, I'm a math person. Like anything, finance, mathematics. I wanted to do business.
You're the numbers people.
Yes, please.
Some of us, when we see numbers, we get dizzy. We like numbers when in hard cash, but when you ask us to calculate certain things, we get a bit dizzy. So you obviously wanted to, be in the corporate world of banking.
Yes.
I'm sure you probably saw them always smartly dressed, getting work done, and
of course.
And you fancy that,
Yes.
right? Did you have any bankers in the family?
No.
Oh, what did your mom do?
She's a dental hygienist.
All right, she's in the medical field.
Yes.
And your dad?
A pastor.
Interesting. So Foba, how was that like? Did that put a lot of pressure on you to be prim and prop?
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit.
I see.
I had to make sure I'd always live right for my dad, the family, God. Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell me about level 300 in University of Ghana.
Okay, level 300, I started feeling weak often. And I was always sleeping during lectures. But I didn't really take it serious.
Okay.
So when I got to level 400, I thought I had ulcer.
Right.
I thought it was ulcer. I was running, vomiting, but it wasn't.
You were running and you were vomiting on daily basis or what?
Daily basis, every day. I couldn't
Wow.
sleep. Every day.
Whether you had eaten something or not.
Even when I drank water. Every day. So that was when I went to the hospital. And the doctor told me something about it.
Okay.
But I wanted to complete the university, so I just brushed it off. And I was like, let me finish with school.
Right.
I completed uni. And then waiting for my service, I realized I was going lean. My legs got swollen. My stomach, my face. Then I went back to the doctor and was like, I have to start dialysis.
Right.
Even with that, I wanted to do my service. I was scared I might not do my service. I might not have a normal life. So I started the service.
Okay.
And then the next year, around in April, right before Easter, he was like, I have to do it. Because I couldn't even go to work because of the pressure.
So you have put dialysis off for almost 2 years after you were told. What did the doctor tell you anyway when you visited him for the first time?
He told me my kidneys were failing.
Okay.
But they didn't know the exact one.
They couldn't tell which one?
Yes, which one. And that I should start dialysis. And I'd already read about dialysis, and I knew you can't stop it when you start it.
Right.
So in my head, I was like, I'm not ready. But then when I started my service, I think the pressure was too much. So I just broke down. And this time I had to start dialysis.
When he first told you when he told you his, assessment of you, how did you take that news?
In my head, I just deleted my future, the plans I had made. Starting a family, starting work, working in the bank, just like them, that, like, it just vanished. I was like, okay, now I don't have any future. I start thinking of dying. That was what was in my head at that moment.
And your parents? Did you tell them
remember
immediately?
I was with my dad.
Okay.
My dad was the one doing most of the rounds with me at the initial stage. I could see that he couldn't take it. It wasn't easy for him. And, he's a pastor, so...
That must have really challenged his faith, right?
Yes, it did. He just always said, believe in God, have faith in God. Things will be well. You start the dialysis. You will not do it forever. God will do something. So then I started with the dialysis. And trust me, it wasn't easy. At all, not at all. It wasn't easy.
And at this time, you were what, in your late teens or you're in the early 20s?
That was 2016.
Okay.
I was in my early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yes.
And this was a time that, your friends were happy to be finishing tertiary soon and going to start life as as a career person.
Yes.
They're busy trying to look good and look smart and sharp, and you were, busy running your dialysis rounds. That must have been really disheartening.
For sure. And one interesting thing is that I wanted to feel normal. So I didn't want to stop with my service. I wanted to do it and be working at the same time.
Yeah. So
that I'll at least not miss in my head. I'm not missing what I should have experienced.
Right.
It was too much.
What couldn't you do?
The first thing about dialysis is you're allowed to drink only 500 ml of water a day. So that's
like a sachet
of
the whole day.
The whole day. That was my main concern. I couldn't drink water like everyone.
If you drank more than you had been told, what happened?
And since the kidneys are not working, all the water goes into my face, my feet, my stomach. I bloat all of a sudden there. So I decided to drink more than 500 for some time.
Okay.
And then I was rushed to Kolebu because the water entered into my lungs. And I couldn't breathe. My face got swollen, my stomach got swollen. That was when I said to myself, oh wow, this thing is serious. This thing is very, very serious. And I couldn't pass urine. So for the past 7 years, no urine.
You couldn't pass urine on your own?
On my own, not at all, nothing. Even if I go to the washroom, nothing. Okay. I didn't even feel like passing urine. I was always vomiting at night, like almost every night. I would vomit. I would have running stomach.
For 7 years?
For 7 years, almost every night. Because of the dialysis. Almost every night.
Were you able to eat anything at all? What were you eating during this period?
I was limited. They put me on diets. Don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. And that thing is very painful. It looks normal, but it's very painful. When everyone is eating something and you can't eat it.
Right.
When everyone is drinking water and you can't drink it. It got to some time I started measuring my water with a spoon.
With a spoon?
Especially when I'm eating fufu. I have to use the spoon to measure the soup I take. Then I'll compare it to the bottle of water. It was that serious. It was that serious. And there were pains all over my body. Sometimes I would go for dialysis and I would faint on the machine. It happened a couple of times. One time I was on the machine and I wanted to go to the washroom.
Right.
So then the last thing I remember was I opened the dialysis door and that was it. I saw myself sitting in my own, my own feces, and I could hear someone calling me from afar, Abba, 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 Abba. I don't know, I had passed out just right in front of the dialysis door. And I was really in a mess. At that time, I was still working.
You were still working at the time.
I was still working.
Did the people at work did they know? Did they know what you were going through?
With my first job,
Yes.
the owner knew about it.
Okay.
But he used it against me after some time. It was like, you're not working to our capabilities. You're always slow and all that. And I always had to rush to dialysis after work.
Every day?
Yeah, dialysis was every 2 days or every 3 days.
Okay.
I used to go twice a week. And my time is normally, at that time, it was from 6 to 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get to that place at 7:30, it means you've lost 1.5 hours. You have to dialyze for only 2.5 hours.
Right.
And sometimes my boss will delay me at work.
Even though he knew that you had to go to the hospital?
Yes. I'll get to that place around 7:30. And I would have to beg the nurses to make it like 3 hours. Because dialyzing for 2.5 hours is like not doing anything. This thing continued for some time and I stopped with the job. And had another one. So with that one, I didn't tell them.
Right.
I continued with the job. I just told like 1 or 2 colleagues about it. Yes, so that in case I needed help, they would help me.
Why was it aside the fact that you wanted to pursue, a dream, you had limitations that could have, that was good enough reason to stay home and take care of yourself. What was it very important for you to continue to keep working under these conditions?
As I said, I wanted to feel normal.
You wanted to feel normal?
Yes,
right.
I wanted to do whatever I was doing.
Right.
Because I knew it would break me. Already it was breaking me. But I would say it was the Holy Spirit that kept me calm. Because all those I started with are gone. Those even came to meet me are also gone. What I was going through every day and night, I wasn't even telling anyone. It was just my parents who knew about it.
Did your little brother know what was going on?
Yes, he knew.
Okay.
He knew about it, but not all. He knew about it. So I wanted to look okay in the sight of everyone. I didn't want them to ask me questions. So people didn't know about it.
Right.
They would only ask of the marks on my hand. Now what's wrong with you?
And the marks from the hand is from the injection, the incisions, or what?
Yes, the fistula.
Okay, can I see it?
Yes.
Okay. That's quite some marks you've got there. Sorry, let me turn the volume down. Okay, are you okay now?
Yes, okay.
Right.
Yes, so this is a fistula. They operated on this one like 3 times.
3 times?
This particular hand. At first, I did the usual fistula and it lasted for like 4 years and then it got spoiled. Then I had to do another catheter. At first, I did a catheter here.
Okay,
it's
by
not
the neck.
Really visible. And then I did this fistula. When it got spoiled, I had to do another catheter. And even with that one too was another issue altogether. On that day, like the doctor just cut this side, cut my thigh, like it was just playing with my body.
You didn't think he knew what he was doing?
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what to say about that one. But on that day, he was confused. He was confused. That's what I noticed.
I'm sure that in this whole journey so far, you've had cause to question your faith and question God about why this process, why all of that.
Yes.
Or haven't had the background that you had, you understood that these are afflictions associated with your work with God. Tell me how you've dealt with your condition, your journey, and your faith.
Okay, as a Christian, there was no way I could have put the blame on any spiritual family issue. All I had to do was to trust God. I was always having positive thoughts.
Right.
Like, what's the way for it?
Mm-hmm.
What's the way for it?
Mm-hmm.
Anytime the doctor comes up with this issue, I'll be like, okay, so what are we doing about it?
Right.
I always thought of positive things.
Mm.
You are not going to die. You are not going to die.
Mm.
But I'm human. You know, at some time, I could shed tears. Hey, the tears, like, I was always crying. You know, in the washroom. I'll just go and be crying. Why me? Why me? What have I done? I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't eat anyhow. So why me? I used to think of it a lot. So it made me, I'll use the word anti-so.
Right.
For
You became an introvert.
a long period of time.
Prior to that, you were an outgoing person?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the house, I always share a lot of jokes. I laugh about everything. But within those few 8 years, like, it vanished. It just went. I wasn't talking. I wasn't saying anything. I was just going with what was going on. You know, because I had no choice. I had no choice at all. And I knew I would die at a point in time.
You were thinking that?
Oh yes, a lot of times. Even though I had faith in God. You know, when it got to my 5th year, I went to the bank.
Right.
And I told them I wanted to start a funeral plan. And that I know I'll be dying very soon.
You went to the bank yourself?
I went to the bank myself.
Did your mom know about this?
No.
Your dad?
No. It was later. After everything. After the transplant and everything. I told them I know I'll be dying soon. So I want to.
You went to the bank and
Yes.
spoke to who? The bank manager or the customer service person?
Customer service personals.
Uh-huh.
And I told them I know I'll be dying soon. So I want to start something so that when I die, after a year, it won't be difficult for my parents.
The person who received you, who attended to you, what was the expression?
And he thought it was a joke because I was laughing. I was laughing and saying it. He thought it was a joke.
I mean, how many people go to work thinking somebody will walk up to them and tell them, I'll be dying soon, so you should be assisting me?
I was smiling and saying it, so he thought it was funny. And then I did it.
You did?
Yes.
What did you do?
I think it's a life plan. He said after a year or so, if I die, my parents will get 50,000 cedis for my funeral. But if I don't die, I can come back for my money, or they can keep it.
So you made a deposit for that insurance?
Yes, and with that one, they'll be deducting some amounts from my account every month.
And you did this in the 5th year of your journey?
Yes. The fifth year. That was when things became complicated, really complicated. After my fistula got spoiled, it's like now my body started rejecting everything. Everything. Even with the new fistula I did, the body rejected it, so they moved to the thigh. With that one too, it wasn't working. He moved forward. It wasn't working. I wanted to go to my left thigh, and I insisted on no. I didn't want it. And after that...
And the pain was excruciating, I can imagine.
It wasn't a joke.
It
wasn't a joke. I was going through serious pain. It was continuous. Serious pain. And it's even worsened when I was told I have a tumor in my brain. I was like, oh God.
Hold on. You were dealing with dialysis and its complications?
Yes.
And then you were hit with another news that you had tumor in your brain?
My brain. And that they have to do a biopsy to see whether it's cancerous. And I know usually with biopsy, they can just put something, pass something through some part of your body to get it, but The doctor was like, no, I have to go to theater. They have to screw my skull into my brain to where that thing is, and then take the sample out. At that time, I knew, but you're already dead. You're already dead. You just go. You're already dead. That was what was in my mind the whole time. You're already dead. And I remember I was like, he was talking to me whilst he was doing it, because he said he has to do that so that I don't lose memory. I don't lose my memory. And so I could feel them putting something, screwing through my skull into my brain. I could feel it. Took the sample.
It's okay. Take a break. Take a break. We'll continue this in a bit, right?
All my life you have been faithful.
Very detailed account of her journey with dealing with failing kidneys and in the process of trying to get her life back, hit by news of a tumor in her brain. Yeah, you thought you've seen the worst that life can throw at you. I hope that this picks you up, because guess what? She's here. She's living by the grace of God, and she's sharing her journey with you. I hope it inspires you to keep going. I don't know what you were going through. Maybe not as much or maybe more, but she's giving us hope this evening.
Wake me up in the morning.
She's definitely giving us hope this evening. Vivian, you're good?
Yes.
You're sure? You want us to continue this?
Yes.
I don't mind if you need some time. I don't mind. I've got all the time to wait for you.
I'm fine.
Yeah?
I'm fine.
Okay, so the procedure was done. Sample was taken. And what? What was the result?
The pain after that, it was like they were using a hammer to hit my head.
Yeah.
Every second, every minute. And I did dialysis before, and immediately after the surgery, I had another dialysis. So you can just imagine, in the pain, I sat down for 4 hours for dialysis. I was just crying. I was just crying the whole time.
I want to believe that at some point, having gone through the operations and all these procedures, right?
Yes.
Do you at a point feel if you have made it this far, then definitely God has got a plan? Or for you, it was feeling that, it's all just going down the drain?
I had that thought after the brain surgery.
Right.
But something happened one day at dialysis. I had this close friend who usually also had dialysis by me.
Okay.
He was fine. And then one day, he just died, beside me. Then it just hit me that, no, Papa, don't think you will get better. I don't know why it happened that way, but he was looking healthy, he was looking fine. And he just went as he was talking to me on the machine. And that wasn't the first one. About like 5 people have died beside me. But his death, especially, it made me know that no, but you have a long way to go. Because at that time, there was no financial help. And the amount of prayers my dad and the church puts in it, So I questioned God a lot of times. Because I'm human.
Yes.
At a point in time, I would say, I have faith, everything is fine. But then later, you get to know that no, it's not like that.
Right. Tell me about your mom.
Oh, my mom.
Your superstar.
Yes, my hero. She was always there for me. At every point, my mom was there, doing everything for me. Even at the latter point, when I became paralyzed, oh my God, she was there 24/7. 24/7, every time. And the first time I was diagnosed with it, she was so willing to give me a kidney. I wasn't even expecting that.
She was?
I wasn't expecting that. She was like, I'm willing, I can give her my kidney. She didn't even know whether it would be compatible or not. And I think she didn't even care about that one.
She was willing to give her kidneys to you?
Yes.
So she would rather pass, so you would live?
That was what I was scared of. I don't think I would have lived with it, seeing my mom die, because she wants to give me life. I was really scared.
Ladies and gentlemen, her mom is here, but she's microphone shy, so she doesn't want to be in the studio with us. But she's sitting on the other side of a mic, and she's hearing all of this. Wow.
I always say she's my hero.
Of course she is.
If it were to be a woman, a movie,
yeah,
she would be the blue man.
She would be the blue man. She would be the Superman, huh? That must really make you cherish her a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Tell me about your path to recovery. When did it begin? How did it start?
Okay, so finally in 2021, God sent some financiers who were willing to support me. But just at that point, I became paralyzed. I couldn't move any part of my body. So we finally went to India for the transplant. And even with that one, it's a whole story too on its own. But to cut things short, and when we got to India, they were like, I have another issue again. I had a problem with my parotid gland.
What is that?
I think it controls the calcium in your body.
Okay.
The release of calcium in your body. Hence controlling the bone.
Okay.
And I think that was one of the reasons why I became paralyzed. But by the time we were going back to India, I had shrunk. All my muscles had shrunk. My bones started shrinking. My fingers, the left one and this one, is a little bit short.
Right.
It started shrinking.
Literally.
The one just started shrinking. So the muscles in my neck, and according to the doctor, the bones here were too weak to the extent that I had to do that surgery.
Right.
And without the parotid gland surgery,
you couldn't do
the transplant. So I had to do that one. I think that's the mark on my neck.
Right.
It's a mark there.
Right.
So I did that one, and then after 3 weeks, I had to do the transplant. And I remember a week to the surgery. I was going to bed one day, and I told God that I don't want to wake up the next morning.
This was when you were in India?
In India. You should take me away. But I woke up the next morning.
So what, you were disappointed?
Yes.
You were disappointed?
I was, because I was bothering my parents. I didn't let them sleep. I wasn't sleeping. I was always crying to the extent that those in the hotel would even knock at her room number. Why is your daughter crying? When I went in there, they thought I was a male.
Right.
Because of the way I was looking. So we finally had a transplant. And before that, I had to meet a panel of doctors. That was also one of my worst experiences.
What happened with that meeting the panel?
Since I couldn't raise my body,
Yes.
my head was down. I was just seeing the table, and these doctors were insisting they wanted to see my face. And they tried to bring me up.
Yeah.
It wasn't working, and they took pillows, put it on my side just to make me straight. And I was sitting there looking at them, debating on whether I should live or not, whether they should do the surgery or not. Because they were like, they can't do the surgery, the transplant, and that it won't work. And one doctor said, I have only one chance, 1% chance of making it. He just told me.
And you were sitting and listening to all this conversation. Were your parents there as well?
It was a one-on-one interview. I was just sitting there and looking.
Could you speak at that time? Could you speak?
Just a few words.
A few words.
But I was just down looking at them. They're talking. This one was like, no, let's do it. This one was like, no. I was like, hey, people are debating on whether I should leave or not. And finally, my doctor was like, there's a 99% chance I'll make it, but with a 1%, it's very critical. And I remember later they called my daddy. My daddy told them that 1% chance is Jesus.
Amen.
You can keep your 99%, do your best. You give us the 1%, we will take it and we'll give it to Jesus. And it worked.
Wow. So you went into surgery, the transplant was done.
I was done.
And then you came back from surgery.
Yes, I was happy.
How did it feel?
Actually, my first thought was, where's my mother? That was the first. Where's my mother? I wanted to see my mother.
Yes.
I insisted on it until they brought her to me.
Yeah.
I was very happy. I was very, very happy. But I still couldn't move.
Okay.
I still couldn't move. It was after some days that I could open
your fingers.
And I was like, oh, okay. The future is bright.
The future is looking bright now. I see. So how long did it take you before you could, move and walk around?
It took, taking my first step was, I think, after 8 months.
Okay. So you stayed in India all that while?
No. We left. I stayed in India for 5 months.
For 5 months.
So after the surgery, we stayed for almost 3 months. And I came back to Ghana and continued with physio. And with that one too, it wasn't easy, but I knew I had hope. I was like, yeah, Abba, you're done.
If you've gone that far, you've got to have hope.
It's just left with walking. So that's what kept me going. And now I can walk.
Yes, you can walk. You walked in here. You walked in here. When I saw you, I was so happy. Because the videos that Mami Adwa sent me, they were quite distressing. And of course in the videos she sent to me, she didn't send me an updated one, so I was very the whole evening I was wondering how are you going to be able to come in, because those videos they were quite distressing. When you were at the airport and all of that. Wow, I mean, look at you now. When you stand in front of the mirror and you look at yourself, what do you tell Vivian? What do you tell yourself?
I always encourage myself. Yeah, you've done well, but there's more to do.
There's more to
do. But I always say you've done well. Yeah.
What lessons have you picked about life and faith through your journey?
never take life for granted. I'm telling you, never. Because when it got to the point that I couldn't do anything, I couldn't turn in bed. And I realized that, so it's important to turn on your own in bed. I couldn't raise up my head. I was looking at everyone's foot. Just don't take life for granted. If you can walk and if you don't have food to eat, be grateful. Because I was now learning how to walk again.
Yeah.
I even forgot how to walk. So I'll tell someone, walk and let me look at the way I'm walking so that I'll see how it is. We walk and like we feel we have to walk. It's normal to walk. But we forgot we learned it at bed. Everything is a process. I never take life for granted. And God should always be first. There was no way I could have gone through this thing without God. No way. God was the main focus through it all. It was God.
What do you think is God's plan? I know sometimes we don't see the full picture, right? But why do you think God has given you this journey? What is it to do? Have you been questioning that? Do you have a sense of the purpose for the journey that you have walked?
Yes. I've been asking God also, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do for you? Do you want me to tell people about what I've been through? Do you want me to talk to people about their kidneys? Do you want me to tell people to have faith in you? You know, I keep asking because I know He kept me for a reason.
Absolutely.
I always say that I'm not better than all those people who died. I'm not better than all those people who had a chance to do transplant. I even know people who had a transplant this year and have died this year. But it's only grace.
Yes.
That has brought me this far. So I know God has a purpose for me. I know it. I need to be fulfilled.
Definitely. What about your banker dream?
Mine.
Your banker dream.
You know, I was working with a bank before I went to India.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Okay.
I started working with them.
Even in your state?
Yes.
Okay.
I worked with them. And they were very supportive. They really helped me financially. I was even surprised.
Wow.
Surprised.
I'm sure you can't wait to go back to work. Have you gone back to work? Or you're yet to?
No, I will.
You will?
They said I can come at any time.
Wow.
So
such a blessing.
yes.
So look out for Vivian, the banker.
Of course.
In a bank near you. In a bank near you.
Of course.
I mean, you know, for me also, in addition to everything that you've said, it's your resilience and staying on course, achieving the dream no matter what. You know, somebody would have said, well, after everything that you've been through, you want to just take life easy, you know, but you're very goal-oriented, aren't you?
Yes.
You're very goal-oriented.
Of course.
What about your circle of friends? Have they been supportive? I'm sure at a point they realized what you have been battling with all the while, right?
Yes. Initially, I didn't tell them.
Okay.
It was later. And even when I told them, they were very supportive.
Right.
Very, very supportive. My friends, my family, my church, my work.
What church is that?
Baptist.
Okay.
Aboni Baptist Church.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been very, very, very supportive.
Wow. Hey, and then when you came back, the first Sunday, the white shed in your white ticket. Yeah, the Akasha need be you. You know, I can imagine the whole church was all white.
They were excited. They were happy. They just couldn't hide their joy. You know.
Absolutely.
They were excited to see me. Even at that time, I couldn't even walk. When I came back, I was
you couldn't at the time?
Yeah, learning to walk again. But they didn't even look at that. They were just happy to see me. They were just happy to see me.
And your
I was
dad?
fine. Oh, my dad.
Was your dad with you in India as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Oh, my dad. Wow. He really, really also did well. He would sometimes change my diapers, clean me, Not every dad can do that, because after my mom too donated her kidney, he had to take care of the two of us.
Oh, so your mom eventually donated a kidney?
Yes. So my
Right.
dad was the one taking care of us, taking care of me, taking care of my mom, so at the same time. So he really, really did well. He really did well. Later I was telling my mom that, hey, Dad is supportive.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I was even surprised. He put his all in it, carrying me every time, like a baby, in and out. And prayers, he wouldn't sleep. He would be praying throughout the night. He even got ill in India.
Oh, he fell ill.
I was always praying, fasting for me. I thank God for them. My mom, my dad. They're blessing me.
And your little brother, who was taking care of him?
He was alone in Ghana. He was working then, so
Okay.
he was on his own. He was also motivating me. Anytime I was down, I would call him and tell him that, Kofi, so this temple, I don't know whether it will come out, and he would encourage me not to give up.
Wow. I've been extremely blessed by your story this evening, honestly.
Thank you.
I mean, we've shared a lot of amazing journeys of, real life experiences, but this definitely, it hits very different.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to be wrapping up.
that.
Absolutely. We've got to be wrapping up, but for anybody out there who's listening to you, going through stuff and wondering, will I make it through? Will God come through for me? Where is this going? Somebody who is probably giving up because they thought they're going through the worst. What would you tell such a person?
I'll tell them not to give up. God is always working out something for you. Never give up. You would think God is not listening to you, but He's listening to you, and in His own time He makes things beautiful. Because throughout all these years, I noticed that everything fell in place at the right time. Everything. The money came at the right time. Surgery at the right time. Everything fell in place at the right time. So if you are patient and you put your trust in God, He will work things out for you.
He will work things out. Vivian, thank you so much for, taking this very brave decision to join us on Unedited, to share your journey with us unedited. Not taking anything out. I'm sure that the listeners have also been blessed immensely by your journey. I wish you the very best. I'm waiting for the day that I walk into a bank and the first person I see in there is you.
Of course.
I pray the Lord that He makes it happen. And of course, if He's brought you this far, I can be sure that He will do even more.
Amen.
And to your mom who donated a kidney. Gosh. Miami Shawai. Yeah. Miami Shawai. And to your dad, who's a prayer pillar for the family as well.
Yes.
He's a man of God indeed. He is, right?
Yes.
And to everybody who's been supporting you, thank you so much, Vivian. I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful for joining us this evening. I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, that's our show for you this evening. It's been Unedited on 3FM 92.7. I hope that you've been truly blessed by Vivian's journey. Oh, I didn't ask you if you have a social media platform that you may want to share with people sometime. Are you on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's what?
Abba Usua.
Abba Usua. Okay, do you share your journey on Facebook sometimes?
No.
Not yet. Okay, take all the time that you need.
Okay.
All right, guys, so that's it. Up next is the news at 8. We're back next week, Wednesday, with another real life changing story. I want to say a big thank you to Mami Adrakan on production. I'm Maka on social media, and to DJ Phil. And then we'll put my phone from Tudu to